You're welcome to AGN, Akwa Ibom Global Network, London. I'm Barrister Ikiddeh. Today's topic is titled Governor Godswill Akpabio and Akwa Ibom State. A critical look at the largest road construction network in 21st century Nigeria. I believe that of all the states in Nigeria, the one state with the brightest potential of being a shining example of development is Akwa Ibom State. With a monthly revenue allocation of 15 billion naira, which comes up to 180 billion naira a year. In pound sterling, you're looking at 700 million pounds. In dollar terms, $1.5 billion. Now that's a lot of money. It's on the strength of this revenue base that Governor Godswill Akpabio embarked on what many have said is the most ambitious road construction network that any governor has undertaken in modern Nigeria. And these are the facts. The road construction is to go up 40 billion naira. Some say will go up to 80 billion. Now, the road is a 180-kilometer road spreading across 80 local government areas of the state and some portions of the state capital, Uyo. Now, these are the specific roads that will be constructed. The construction of 20-kilometer Ikiddeh Enwang Road is expected to open a good access between Ikiddeh and Mbo local government area. There's also the Ikiddeh Mbiokbok, Afarafiong, my village, and Biokboro 2, Ikiddeh Itreto, totaling about 31 kilometers, which is in Nsidibom and Nsidobum local government areas. There's also Nungudo, Itak, Okoita, Osei Koramama, Ibiako Ikot, Esifa Road in both Ikono and Ibiono local government area. This road is 32 kilometers. The remaining roads are various categories of urban roads in Eket, Ikorobasi, and Oron, and the state capital, Uyo. There's also road construction in the University of Uyo covering 1.4 kilometers. There's also road construction in the new bank layout in Uyo, and also the Union Park that houses Ibibio Museum and the State Cenotaph. Now, while many say that this will launch Akwa Ibom State into the 21st century as a modern state, many others say this is a waste of money. Are they wrong or are they right? Joining me in today's discussion is Mr. Nsikanodofia and Mr. Mfon Udo. They are going to address these issues and take a critical look at this massive titanic road construction project. Enjoy the program.
I'll start with you, Nsikanodofia. 40 billion naira. Now, that is a lot of money. And there are some people out there who are saying that this is so much money being pumped into just roads and roads alone. What do you say to them?
My defense regarding this road issue is this. It is purely a developmental thing. I was in Akwa Ibom State in the last couple of months, and you can see the impact that the road network is having on the economy of the state. Let me address the developmental factor, then the economic factor. Now, whether you like it or not, every society that aspires to develop, one of the major things that they do firstly is road construction. Because Akwa Ibom State right now is, I would say, one of the most undeveloped states in Nigeria. And this is simply because there are no roads into the hinterlands in the state. Now the governor has decided to open up these areas in light of the projects he has in mind in terms of industries for the states. Now, secondly, when you look at the economic factor, if what we hear is true that the government has put in 80 billion naira into road construction in the state, one thing I always say to people is, if that kind of money, personally, I would always commend him for that boldness, because it's a very bold step for someone to decide to inject such funds into the economy in Nigeria. A lot of people talk about neglecting education and all of these things. My take on that is, as good as these other things are, there has to be a starting point. And if the governor determines that his starting point in moving Akwa Ibom State forward is to make sure he opens up the roads into... What's the point in somebody going to school, trekking from without being able to get to the school in the first instance? But let's put that aside. The point I was going to make about the economic factor, which at the end of the day has a spillover effect on other factors that we're talking about, is if you put in this amount of money into the economy, there's no way that the reverberating effect is not going to improve the lives of everybody. And we should not downplay that fact. Now, as the case may be, if I were the governor or you were the governor, you have your priorities. And my place is not to question his priorities. And so I do not think he's neglecting any sector of the state's economy. He's only prioritizing, and he knows what he wants to do. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, I look at it from the perspective that if you can inject this amount of money into the local economy, give it a year or two, and you feel the impact in other areas. Let's take a case in point. If they want to come and develop the road to my place, and I'm given the contract to do that, just a case in point. Now, am I going to go to Aba to come and go and bring laborers to come and work on that road, to clear the bush and all of that stuff?
Yeah,
no.
Well, I guess it will be the indigents that will
Exactly.
do it. So,
And
what you're saying that it's given employment.
it would certainly create employment.
Okay.
I think, you see, let me just a bit of contribution. You see, for me, I believe that this word neglect, it's a very, very big word. Because if you look at it, we have various ministries in the states. You understand what I mean? But we have various ministries in the states, and I believe that those commissioners are employed to do a particular job. And if you say that, like Riley said, if you now say that this governor has only concentrated on road building alone, that means the commissioners that were employed in charge of works, in charge of education, at the Justice Department, that means those guys at that point in time are made to be redundant.
Okay, because there are times when a government has got to concentrate on just one thing and one thing alone.
And achieve it.
Yeah.
Yes, you understand, because I've just gotten a report last week from a gentleman who traveled home, and he said he's forgotten the name of the road to his village, which obviously up until this regime, or up until the time of Governor Akpabio, had no road. And he said he actually took time to measure the thickness of the tarring of this road. And he was amazed, because he said to himself as a layman that nothing can happen to this road in the next 10 years. Now, my point is this.
So what you're saying is that these roads are not just being tarred.
No.
It's the construction.
The construction is
to international standard.
International standard. And for that to be the case, there must be, you see, you cannot, as the saying goes, put a jack of all trade and master of none.
That's true.
That is why I'm saying that my approach to this issue, or my take on this issue, is that the government